What's up, everyone? Welcome to another State of the Empire episode brought to you by Jack Links. I am Rambo Ray, coach and GM of the Dallas Empire, and today we will recap our last two matches of the Stage 2, Week 2. We played the Paris Legion and the Minnesota Rokkr. Paris is a good match. It's a good matchup because a lot of our strong maps are their strong maps, including Garrison Hardpoint, which was the first map of the series. I think they had a good idea that we're going to play that, and we're just kind of like almost like ego chow them because they were 4-0 on it. So we were definitely up for the challenge. That's definitely one of our stronger maps, so we're definitely, obviously, always open to play that. And yeah, we just came out firing. We actually started off the game a little slow, but then we were able to kind of chain 4 hard points in a row, which is typically induces a good result when you're able to chain 4 hills in a row. So all the guys were playing extremely well. Again, a little fundamental errors at the start of the game, but then we kind of brought it on and just brought the heat to them and just able to pull the game out, which is extremely satisfying to be the team that hasn't lost in a map. You always want to beat teams when they're playing at their best, and Paris's Garrison play has been their best this year. So then we played, I believe we played Express Search and Destroy, which is a map that we obviously new to Stage 2, a map that we played for the first time in Seattle and were able to win that 6-5. So a map that we had something to build on. We obviously they were able to see our strategies, and I believe we had also some recon on them. But yeah, a team that's very, very good at Search and Destroy. I'd say Paris is probably like top 3 in the league in Search. I'm sure the numbers will back that up, but just lackluster kind of like, again, like fundamentals for us in some rounds. We just go from round to round, and this will be talked about a lot today. In a Search match, we just go from looking like really coherent and understanding what we're trying to accomplish on the map, and then some rounds we just like, what is going on here? Like, so the main issue really for me as a coach, and really what I'm trying to fix, is like our practice has been a lot better recently, and now it's just a matter of like finding a way to make it translate in a game. Our fundamentals and how we kind of go about certain rounds is good. I think it's just the way we react as a team isn't always a good thing. Like, especially in situationals where like we'll play for info and we get a pick, and then what we do with that pick and how we play after that is really what's kind of going wrong for us. So that's really what we're trying to fix right now. So sadly, we lost the map 6-3. We go on and play, I believe it's raid control, a map that, like, it was, I think it ended up being 3-2, but it's a map that we felt pretty much in control the whole game. We did the things we had to do to win it, and then obviously won the map, so that's always big. I'm never going to go too much in depth about control, because like what you guys see is kind of what there is to play for in game. Like, there's not really too many crazy things you can and can't do. I mean, you have to play as a team, obviously, and you want to focus on certain parts of the map, but there's not really crazy things to go about on how you do those things. So we were able to win that, and then we closed out the match in a 3-1 fashion against Paris. I don't want to go talk about that too much, because there's a lot more to talk about the Rokkr game. We knew very well last time we played them, and even obviously they had a team change with Standy coming in for Major Maniac and pushing Standy to an SMG role, which Major was an AR, so Priestess now switched to an AR role, which I do feel like suits him better. So I honestly think that was a good team change for them. I don't think Major was really a problem. I think it's just more so like it seemed more like Priestess wasn't really comfortable what he was doing as an SMG. I think that really was, like, when we looked at that team and how we prepared against them, I feel like that was really kind of where they lacked. So I do feel like that change was good for them as a team. So we knew very well that we were gonna have to put up a fight. Like what's the most disappointing is that I felt like as a team because we've been playing really well in Search, I really felt like our hardpoint game obviously is probably one of the strongest in the league, but I felt like our Search game playing against a team that isn't as organized as we are, because they have a new player, they have to kind of relearn and talk about strategies. There's a lot of new ideas coming from a new player, and a lot of ideas that he has to kind of abide by based on the team's position, how they played with their previous teammate. I felt like we were kind of like, if there's a team that we were going to be able to kind of prove out that we're just making a lot of progression in our Search game, was really Minnesota. So the hard points were just not any competition per se. Like we just really played well fundamentally. We just got the kills we needed and just pushed Minnesota in places where I didn't want to be both Search and both hard points. We don't really need to talk about them very much. Our preparation was very strong. We knew they didn't like playing checkmate. They vetoed it against OpTic. And they knew that our strongest hardpoint game probably was Garrison, so they vetoed that against us. So we took another map that were really strong and that they're probably most likely uncomfortable on, so checkmate. We played it very well, made a lot of good rotations as a team. The score was a little closer than I thought it was going to be, but still, like, it's to a point where we're doing really good with our lead. Like, we're able to kind of understand when it's time to be aggressive, when it's time not to, and we're not really fighting for scraps that much when we have the lead. We're just making sure that we fundamentally play the game as a team right, and we just rotate early if we have to, and then we win the games that way. So they're not always as close as they seem, but like from a coach's perspective, we're really winning these games by a lot. Then we go and play Search and Destroy. I feel like right now, checkmate is like, it's weird. I feel like Checkmate is probably like statistically our strongest map, but we've won it every time we've won it. It's been 6-5. And you look at like most, like I saw a statistic on Twitter the other day where Checkmate is like the most close, like out of the bomb plan. Like it's a map that's really hard to win consistently because of how one bomb site is basically non-existent. So it's interesting, like Minnesota, a map that I felt like they were going to be wanting to play against us because that's a map that's kind of straightforward. They vetoed against us, which is kind of surprising. Not really surprising because of the fact that that's a map we haven't lost, but more surprising about the fact that I thought from a preparation standpoint they were looking forward to play that map. So we played Moscow as the first map. A map that we have obviously had a bad track record on, but a map that we've been working on, trying to fix, really making sure that we're doing things that are conducive to winning. Again, sadly in a match we go from having, I mean, like in the past, I feel like we've had like 3 or 4 good rounds on the map of Search. Now we've probably had a little more in the last 2 matches, but clearly isn't enough to really kind of compete at the highest level right now in Search and Destroy. And that's, without saying too much about what I feel is going bad for us, like that's really the basis of it, right? Like if you show up to a Search game and your team, you're playing as a team properly on like half of the rounds, and you're really kind of hoping for luck on the other rounds, right? You're kind of prying on the other team to make a mistake and not really outplaying them. And that's really kind of what happened in both Searches that match. It's just, we had a lot of strategies and we're kind of forced our own hand on playing aggressive because like I saw a lot of feedback, and I'm gonna kind of say that a lot of people tweet at me saying we're just playing way too aggressive in Search. Yes, we are playing aggressive in Search, but it's because sometimes we're just not able to react and play properly as a team in the slow rounds, which makes it easier on us. Then like we feel more comfortable just playing aggressive in some rounds because we feel like the slow play isn't working. And then if another team sees that happening, then obviously they can adjust to it, which is clear what happened against Minnesota. They were really good at that. So props to them. They played very well. We just, again, need to be more, we need to find a way to kind of put our Search games in practice and find a way to put them in match form. And that's really kind of like all I can tell you guys about it. And obviously the last thing I can talk about that match that we didn't talk about yet is the control. The control raid, which was, we made like a few bad fundamental mistakes in the first defensive round, and that's just, like control is very much a defensive mode. You need to be accurate and be precise in your decision making and not to lose defensive rounds. And when you make big fundamental mistakes that cost your team positioning, it gives your team a chance to win offensive rounds. And that's basically what happened the first round. And then we put up a huge fight. I mean, like we were down 2-0 because they won a defensive round. We won our defense after we were able to win offense, and we were almost in a position to win the last offensive round as well. So, I mean, we fought all we could. We lost to the Rokkr in the same fashion we did in stage 1, which is kind of sad. And yeah, like again, like all I can tell you guys is that we are doing everything in our possible to improve in every way we can right now in Search, and that's really like where our focus is at. And we know, like, I mean, there's no hiding behind the doors, right? Like, because there is 4 Search and Destroy in the best of 9 finals this year, if you're not good at Search, you're not winning championships. And we are very aware of that. So just know, be patient with us. I'm doing all I can in my job as a coach, and the players are doing all they can as a team, and we're really kind of trying to come as one to figure out what we're doing right or wrong to get better at it. And yeah, that's gonna do it for today's episode. But before we're done, I need to talk about my Jack Links moments of the match of this week, which had to be Crim6's start on raid hardpoint against Minnesota. So they willingly took the bad side on the map, picked it on our match, they felt very comfortable on it. And Crim6 had like a 8-0 start or 7-0 start, which were like very highlight like kills, which is kind of like OG Crim plays, which was awesome to see. Obviously, like as a coach, I'm like looking at like, oh, he probably shouldn't have shot, but he got the kill. But that was definitely my moment. Like start the match really strongly, give us a lead right off the bat from the good side, and kind of solidify ourselves as going to map 5, and just sadly weren't able to pull it through in that match. So, but yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this video. As always, like, subscribe, comment, all that good stuff. Love you guys. Have a good one.